come for a quick walk around Lilly at Aston Park. Got to grab a coffee as well. And while I'm here, you can see that blowing right in edges here, just off the edge of the peg. You can't really see it on the screen, but churning all the floor up to the front of the pegs. And they are doing it most at margins as well, all the way down. So loads of carp movement on here. There's been loads of topping as well. We'll walk a bit further around. Just down at this bottom end now, so the bottom end at lake down here. And a bit of a ripple on down here, so you can't really see much movement in edge, but quite quiet today. There's only a couple on and the up at top end, so if there's going to be any movement, it'll stand out like a sore thumb down here. So when we go a bit further up, I'll show you where majority of the time when I come and I'm chucking a feeder out, I'm getting them from, and you can actually see them. They give themselves away. Like this is bottom end. Perfect for them, to be fair. Loads of cover. Everything's blowing down this way. And just round this corner here, you've got the inlet, and as you can see, there's loads of good water coming in at the minute. Had loads of rain further up. It's an awesome colour. And as well, you can sit on that peg over there, or even down here, and you can chuck here and you can catch. I've sat on that peg over there before, first one on that bank, front bottom, and just chucked a pellet waggler into this corner and I've caught carp. So plenty of options even down in this corner. Oh, there's inlet, look. So you that have not been for a while, it comes under this pipe here. There's actually fish in here, a couple of chub, a few eyed. You'll get folk every now and again. One at locals, I think his name's Scott. He'll catch them out of here and he'll put them in there. When water level gets a bit too low and they can't get back through pipe, he'll chuck them back in. But every now and again you see a few little fish in there as well. That's your inlet. Really good flow of water. And obviously it passes through Lilly, down into Split, down into Stable, so on. Really gives all waters a good flushing out. Just missed that one off camera then, but there's 1, 2, I think 3 or 4 just all come up at once, then they all just darted off in different directions. But I was just stood over there then, inlet, when I was saying you can catch them down here. Loads of fish. It's not that deep down here, but you got to remember all that water coming out there is going to be more appealing to him than that up there. He's actually darting over there on top. Look, he's still going in with his back nearly out. So yeah, don't ignore this corner, definitely not. Peg 17, not a peg I fish a lot. Oh, there we are, look. Loads of them there, look, all darting off. Now, I was just about to say to my left here, you've normally got a bed of pads here to your left, and it's all open water to your right, and you can normally get them off the edge of these pads. And they're still there, there's obviously water levels up and they're dying off. But as you can see, loads of fish just darted off from there as well. Margins are full of them, especially when it's quiet like it is today. If you come down on a quiet day, I sometimes do it with a method feeder. If it's dead quiet and there's no one on your end at lake, just don't pour anything out for a good half an hour. Get set up for a bit of baiting and then chuck out. Might get them settled over it first and you'll be fine. Peg 18. So that big bed of lily pads comes around here. It's awesome to sit here and fish next to pads as well. Honestly, just literally dropping a feeder, a method feeder in front of it. I fished on pole here before plenty of times for carp, but you still catch under tip on here. Catch loads of fish. Yeah, there's actually a group of people over there, environment agency officers, just chatting to them, so I didn't want to do any filming near where they are. Peg 19. So again, not much to show on this peg. Get a few lilies in edge every now and again, but nothing major. These next few pegs further up, there don't tend to be a lot of fish lurking about down here. But these pegs from here and a bit further up, these next few ones, you don't tend to have loads and loads of lilies around them. And if you do, it's sort of between pegs, like quite narrowing. I can't see it on camera again, but there's a massive clarity difference in water. It's really churned up here, which tells me that there's probably fish feeding in edge, having a right good old dig. And it's not a cold day either. That breeze is, it's not warm, but it's not cold. I think it's blowing at about 12 degrees. It is a bit windy as well, but definitely close in if you're coming up. One there, look, just taking off, just gone under. So you see clarity difference here, look. can actually see water there where it's been churned up, and it's because they're probably feeding down in this left hand edge here, and it's just drifting off this way. Yeah, from here I might be able to show you. But when I say about them gearing themselves away, so if you pick a penny peg right lake, you always want to look at into the middle first, and this is what you end up seeing. So let's get over there, look. Can't really do much with phone, but look, bubbles there, look. That's all fish blowing away down at bottom. So that'll be from anglers either last night or yesterday that have piled some bait out, and that's fish digging for remains that they didn't manage to just pick off at bottom. There's actually a big fish up top over there, just in the middle of the screen there, look. He's back out, he just dropped back down again. But if you come, and this is what I tend to do with kids, come down and have a good lurk across middle first, and you'll see fish blowing, gearing themselves away. Like there, look, see them blowing there? That's just fish like shoving their noses into the silt on bottom. It's really soft stuff as well here. It's not terrible, you won't, there's one up top, look. You won't chuck a rig out and it'll sink, like it'll cradle a PVA bag and a rig, no problem, but a method feeder, for example, it'll sit flush in silt, which presentation wise is perfect. So again there, look, 1, 2, 3 areas blowing there. The more you look at it, more they just come up. So that's a good spot over there. Obviously you'd chuck straight into the middle of that, or you'd probably put some bait in first and then have a chuck. Never ignore that corner. Like, it's not, I've known it to be a right holding spot for carp, even when I've been fishing on this end at lake. When there's been absolutely nobody on and it's been dead and it's getting towards the end of the day, I fired a method feeder across there into that corner. Not tight, probably about 10 metre off at bank all the way around. Fish top in there, look. And I've had plenty of fish to end a session off. It's just like a right carp hole all year round, that. And especially in winter when you're struggling to locate them and you feel like that you've hopped peg to peg and you've covered loads of water, that over there naturally you just tend to ignore it simply because of its location. It's next to the car park, it's right where people are walking, there's a public footpath next to it, and I think that's why they like it. Not because there's loads of traffic around it, but because nobody tends to chuck a line in there. So if you ever come down, go in that corner and have a chuck as well. Definitely worth it. Now this peg is where a few years ago Alex introduced some 30-pounders into Speci Lake, into Lilly in here. So at that point they were the biggest fish on complex, and I was lucky enough to catch the first ever one. He come in at £31 1 ounce on a little method feeder, just fishing like sort of coarse match fishing style methods. We fish with micros on method and a 6mm fishery pellet in a band on a tiny hook length. That's all it were. And I were on this peg at a cold winter's day in February, I think it were, and I just chucked out right into the middle, and I think it had been in for about 10 minutes, and I was just getting a really skimmer sort of little roach shiver on end at tip. So I thought I'll reel in, probably going to one of them little eyed. Some of you carp lads will know you can fish a 10mm boilie on here and you can get them big eyed and sometimes big roach pick up, and it was just solid, and I thought I was snagged. So I was just preparing myself to start slowly dragging back a snag or a branch or something, and before I knew it, my rod wasn't pointing to that peg adjacent to me anymore, it was pointing down there somewhere. So I continued with it just to see what would happen, and it turns out this massive fish that come up that I thought were a big team, I got it in net, got it out, and I had carp anglers rushing round and they weighed it for me, and after we took weight at net off and everything at sling and all that stuff, it was £31 1 ounce, big common carp, Preston. So yeah, peg 32, bit of a lucky peg for me. Just managed to catch them. So one come out from underneath and one shot off straight in front, so more carpet margin there. Always feed it, even if you don't want to chuck in straight away, always feed a margin. Plenty of fish all year round. I mean, we're in late October now, mid-October, late October, and we have had a few cold nights. We've had frosts up here recently. So these fish they're not shy to go at margin. Yeah, look, in the middle. Yeah, more you look across, more you can just see there's just fish everywhere on bottom, and then there's a small percentage of fish just coming up to the top and just getting some air every now and again. What I've noticed is a lot of these fish that come up for air, They're fish that have just spent a good 5-10 minutes shoving the nose into the silt, and they come up to get the gills and then snout a good clean and get a rinse out by just chucking themselves over in that upper layer of water. See them blowing there in front of this peg? Peg 34. Loads in front of here as you look out. Quite an ignored area at lake this as well, because it shallows up quite a lot here to the left where outlet is, and a lot of people tend to ignore it. Go a bit further around. This is your outlet, so that's Lilly there, and your outlet comes down just that way down into Split. And these are what we call car park pegs, which ideally disabled anglers parking there, look, quickly come through here, whether you're in a wheelchair or not, or scooter, or if you just want to save your bike and you've got a badge on your dash. It's if you can get it, it's an ideal area like this, just to come down and get straight from your car. I sometimes park my car here, up and boot, and I don't shut my boot all day, and I'll just get my gear on here and fish. But again, even these margins here aren't to be ignored. If you go on my YouTube channel, you'll see me fishing pole here with paste, going just on a top kit, just in front of the peg here, just on a top kit, catching carp. And also this corner I was talking about, when I say ink corner, I mean you want to be out here ink corner. It's like a big holding spot here all year round. But even fishing pole up to that bush there with paste, like I've had carp 15, 16, 17 pound out from there up pole, and it's a bit tricky because that corner's got a few snags in it, just because it trees around it, they've been trimmed over years and branches falling off, but there's still plenty to go at. Just never ignore edges when you come here. As I'm walking round, that chap over there has just leaned into one, I think. Just had a few beeps and he's lifted up, he's into summit anyway. Yeah, so plenty of bites coming, loads of fish showing. See from here down in middle, it's just a line all the way down middle of fish blowing. Big and just top there, down there. But yeah, if you come up, don't ignore all edges, loads of colour in it. It looks absolutely perfect for bites, to be fair. Absolutely every opportunity to be catching plenty of fish up here. There's on-site café, toilets, fully loaded tackle shop, you name it. Everything is literally just next door, so never ignore that. Loads of good food. Sausage cobs, I'm a bit boring, I like mine just with butter on. Sausages here, they're good enough, you don't need much more on it than that, but the breakfast here, absolutely stunning. So if you're on about having food when you set off up here, just bear in mind that you might be hungry again as soon as you walk through the door. There's absolutely loads to go at. Yeah, but I'll leave it at that, I think. So yeah, just while I come up for some gear and for a coffee, thought I'd just give you an update on how places looking. And I don't manage to get up here much anymore, but it's only right corner from my house. But definitely get up. It's not a place to be ignored of at winter. Got to remember there's 5 30-pounders in here now plus. Recently had, I think it was 10 20-pounders per in, which they look bigger than what they are. They're all 20 plus, 30 plus obviously. There's 2 sturgeon in here. One's been putting out at Match Lake, which nowhere near as big as big one, but big one, that's between 50 60 pound as well. So if you're coming up and carping's your thing, but you want to try out for a sturgeon as well, you know, there's every opportunity to catch that thing in here. Sometimes it's like a pet cat, you can walk around lake and it can follow you around, so don't ever ignore it if you see it. I'm still trying to catch it on light gear. But no, thanks for watching, and if you're ever up here and you see me, I'll come give me a nudge and I'll come and have a chat.